Hello everybody and welcome back to Victoria, where we are currently slightly negative financially, but that is of course due to the fact that we have just gone up to telephones. We raised our taxes and we'd like to work these back down eventually. But for now we're working on getting some of these power plants done. We're working on bringing down the price of telephones a little bit further. We've got about 18 weeks on that, and we're still working on some cash crops as well. So that's all looking relatively fine. We've got 25 months on the construction queue here. So that seems a-okay. We've expanded about as far as we're going to, unless there's some major diplomatic changes here, and we'll keep an eye on that. Bolivia is currently able to have their autonomy decreased, and that's probably a good thing. That'll add 10 liberty desire to every other subject. There are no other subjects. So that's okay. Let's reduce that down to a dominion that's not actually even going to give us any infamy, from what I can tell. So we're going to do that, and that's going to continue to reduce. Perfect. So the next one is going to be reducing to puppet, and then I believe puppet we can integrate, is the way that that works. So plus 19.7k, is that real? It went up to 22. Let's see if that's real. We should know after this week. That is real. Okay, that's interesting. So we're going to be able to cut our taxes fairly soon in that case. We're going to be paying down this interest again, and there's 32.9k in interest, so definitely that seems good. Bolivia is now colored the same as us as well, so that is wonderful. So we're currently 11 weeks away from this electrics industry finishing. My question is, what changed this? Not telephones or paper cost. That's interesting. What actually happened to our balance here? Why did this swing so much? Not taxes, not poll taxes, not consumption taxes, which are actually on a slight decline. Not dividends, not tariffs, not minting, not diplomatic pacts, although it actually might be diplomatic pacts, now that I think about it. This is only going back to 12 July to 30 August. It's probably this 22k that we got from lowering the autonomy of Bolivia. I think that's what it is. Okay, so that seems fine. The autonomy of Bolivia is now going down by 0.18. So that's fascinating. We could actually stop supporting their regime if we wanted to. What would that put us at? That would bring us up to a righteous government. It's tempting. But we may not actually want to. Okay, so we'll give them all a day in jail to cool off. That seems fine. We may not want to do that. I don't know. I do want to have this continue to drop. Economic dependence on Overlord is, of course, a big thing at this point. So that is definitely noted. No doubt about that. I'm thinking that we might want to stop this regime support. And take ourselves up to a righteous government. So let's do that for now. Bolivia is now likely to increase autonomy. Oh, hang on. Right, that's going to increase their liberty desire, isn't it? That's going to go down, though. It's currently 76. I should have waited a couple of weeks for that. I should have read that tooltip a little bit closer. No doubt about that. Okay, we'll see if they actually raise their autonomy. I don't think that they will. Yeah, they can't until 1913. Or at least we can't. I don't know if they can't. But that'll be definitely interesting. So it is going down still. We'll keep an eye on that situation. It should go down pretty quickly. There's expanding the applications of the telephone. So that is perfect. We could gain progress on the technology of radio, or we could get electrics industries building throughput. The question is, what is the price currently of telephones? So let's check in on that. So we'll sort by market price. Telephones are currently at plus 14. I don't think we need the throughput. I think we're just going to take the progress on radio. That'll be fine. Speaking of progress, how are we doing on our technology spread here? Okay, so that is noted. This is lower than I expected it to be. 149.2. We need another 30, so that would be, in theory, 10 universities. But the question is, are these not fully maxed out? They actually are. So that's definitely intriguing. We need 10 universities in theory. In fact, we probably need closer to 11. So let's get them going in Pernambuco, and that'll be fine. I do want to move up these power plants, though. Or do I? We may want to just tear through these universities, now that I think about it. Because I really do want to be getting that technology spread rate. So let's get going on that for now. It'll take a little bit of time, and that will delay us a small amount, but it's really not going to take too long to build 10 universities. So that seems relatively okay. Our investment pool is still positive right now. I want to be paying down our interest rate. So our interest rate, as we can see here, is holding, kind of. It is going down, but it's going down very, very slowly. We could pause construction. I think that's a terrible idea. Our GDP has fallen a little. We did break 50 million there briefly, but our GDP has fallen slightly. It's going to come back up, so that seems fine for now. What are we working on technologically? Electric arc process? Okay. That sounds fine, but we are going to need to get these power plants done, right? So that is definitely something we want to work on. So I'm going to come out over here. I'm going to move up some of these power plants that are not lower construction efficiency. So these guys here, like that. And then we're going to raise up this power plant and this power plant. Then we're going to move these universities up. We're going to be prioritizing universities over the power plants right now, although it's going to be a very minor prioritization. And we're going to put the university here, about like this, with the idea being that we need to continue to move these guys centrally, like so. But I want to build these ones that are positive construction efficiency for the time being. So that seems fine, and we'll just do something like this. That power plant in Uruguay is partially completed and really should be moved up to the top. We can put that at the top. That's actually fine. This is okay. So something along the lines of this. We're now prioritizing power plants over universities, but I'm reasonably content with that. So this power plant is going to go here. This power plant is going to go here. And then we can just wait for additional power plants to move up the list. That'll be fine. Okay, so we're going to be working on power plants and universities for right now. This is not going to be a huge boon to our GDP for the moment, but we're definitely going to want to have a base level of electrification in every state here. So that is what we're angling for at this moment. We're also paying down our debt right now, although our taxes are a little higher than we'd like them to be. Workplace safety office investment goes up, and that is great. Do we want to be pushing a law change right now? Proportional taxation would actually be a slight increase over what we've got right now. Let's work on this. This will radicalize the industrialists, but it's okay. The industrialists are very unhappy. Cool. So something like that should be fine. Let's just leave this be for the time being, I think, and we can move up this power plant to be right here. There we go. That looks excellent. So we're going to be getting a lot of this construction completed. We've got 23 months in this queue, allegedly. We'll see how real that ends up being, but proportional taxation will be a decent increase of funding for us. So that'll be good, but we're going to want to cut our taxes eventually. So that's definitely a thing. Cool. So technology is really starting to take off at this point. Electric arc process is 11 weeks away, and we are going to be working on bringing up our innovation cap. Now it's 91 points. Oh, wait, I'm dumb. I was reading this wrong. Why was I reading this the way I was? Okay, we need to cancel all these universities. I was reading it exactly backwards. For some reason, we're generating 149.6 each week because we're capped at 149.6, and if we weren't capped, we would be making like 50 more. We don't need any universities at this point other than what we've got. So I'm going to move this coffee plantation back up to here. I'm going to actually cancel this university. Yeah, we're going to throw away some... We're going to throw away some construction there. It's my own fault. It's fine for now. So we're going to move up some of these coffee plantations. It's not going to take us long to get these coffee plantations fully finished. So we're going to put these about here. And then this one is going to be moved up to be here. And then this goes right at the top of this page in theory. But we just had a change here. Nope, we're good. Okay. So that seems fine for now. Then we're going to move up all of these once we're through the coffee plantations. Okay. So that seems relatively fine for now. Let's check in on Bolivia. Bolivia is now in the moderate liberty desire. However, it's only going down by 0.05 due to amicable relations primarily. And economic dependence on Overlord is pretty much just canceling out the base value and the clout. Okay. It's actually going down by 0.06, I think. There's a bit of a rounding issue there, but it's not going down by much. It's going down very, very slowly. That's understood. As long as it's going down, we're happy. Keep in mind, we're in a... Oh, we dropped to legitimate 89. In that case, there's not much point in not supporting their regime. Well, that's unfortunate. We're back to supporting the regime. That means that we have a bunch of extra liberty desire here that we didn't need. It's sad, but I don't think there's all that much to do about it. I'm going to move this coffee plantation up. We're going to, in fact, move all of these coffee plantations up. They're going to be done fairly soon. The real question here is, how are we doing on our unemployment and our peasants? The peasants' number is definitely up. Okay, philanthropy. Actually, I feel like this is reasonably fine. Giving generously is okay. So that'll be okay. We are going to be crossing... We actually were crossed over, and then we crossed back. Noted. There's electric arc process done. So, if we swap over now, we're probably going to have some issues. So, electric sewing machines, yeah. I think we're going to wait to swap over until we have all of the states done for the electrification, but it's going to be quite a thing. No doubt about it. We can bump up our naval base for sure. We can go up to an industrial port as well. But now we're lacking steamers, and that's probably okay. Let's swap over our shipyards to making steamships. There we go. And we're now short on clippers. So what do we need for clippers? Whaling stations? So we do need some clippers still. Okay, so let's have some of these swap over to reinforced wooden ships. So you can drop the price a little bit there, and then you can drop the price as well. If we did this, the price isn't quite even yet. Okay, we're probably going to have to do something kind of like this. Okay, now we can go for another tech here, and we're going to go for something probably like plastics. That's going to give us a big oil demand, which is good for us. That's really, really good. So that's going to make our glassworks way, way more efficient. So that would be phenomenal. National supremacy pop support, huh? Okay, that's noted. So for now, this seems reasonably fine. We're going to continue to work on these power plants, but we're going to need to bring up some of these plantations. We're 22 months, allegedly, away from finishing this entire construction queue, and we'll see how that goes. We're back up to 50 million GDP. Beautiful. And our number of loyalists have passed the number of radicals again. Perfect. That's a really good sign. So I'm going to put this coffee plantation here, and we're going to want to move all of this up about like this. But, of course, we want this power plant up at the top, and I want to move up the coffee plantations, these power plants, something like this for now, but I want these guys to be like so. And then we can do something like that. Then I'm going to move up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 additional power plants, right? And then these go straight up to the top here, while these guys are going to get sorted in a little bit. So a dye plantation here, this is going to be a dye plantation here, and then this cotton plantation could be moved up, That'll go here. This cotton plantation would get moved up. That would go exactly where it is. And then this guy would go here. And then this power plant would end up going here. We can be continuing forward at this point. This power plant goes here, and this power plant goes here. This one would be moved up slightly, and that would end up going there. This guy would move up about like that. Then we would need a few additional things to intersperse with the power plants over here. Okay, that looks reasonably fine for now. Our electrification is going reasonably well. Our economy is going to really skyrocket when we actually electrify our production methods. We haven't done that yet, and so these power plants are kind of wasted potential right now. That's understood. We'll get to that. So that looks excellent. We're finishing up this coffee plantation. That's all fine. So we're still working on getting these peasants put to work, right? Our population is going up by a decent amount, but we still have 1 million peasants right now. Literally, 1 million peasants. So that is somewhat problematic, for sure. We're making 42K right now. Oil has been discovered in Corrientes. We have this power plant finishing. Let's see how real that is. 30K. Noted. So we have another advance here. Let's go ahead and accept that. We're up to 56% chance on proportional taxation. That's looking pretty solid. Okay, so we're at about a surplus of 27 or 30, somewhere around in there. Noted. That's fine. More oil is being discovered, and oil is indeed the future, but we're not to it yet. We're going to need oil. Enact wage subsidies? I don't know that we actually want to do that, but it would be a lot of individuals that would become more loyal there. No doubt about that. We are bringing up our position here, our standard of living. It's okay. It's not fantastic. It's holding fairly steady right now. Dropping our taxes would be beneficial for them, for sure. We're not quite in a position where we can do that, but we're actually very, very close. So that sounds good. We're going to finish up our power plant in Buenos Aires for right now. And there's only so many more of these power plants to build. Now, some of these are low construction efficiency, and that is understood. There's not a huge amount to be done about that. We're at 20 months on this construction queue, so that seems good. The question is, when do we go through and enable our electrification? That'll be things like electric engines and assembly lines. It's going to be a lot. We're going to have some significant issues from it. No doubt about it. So that is going to use electricity. That's going to use oil. We may want to build up a little bit of an oil industry first. So we can go for oil rigs here. And we can max out our oil in Minas Gerais. I'm going to put this at the bottom of the list for now. We can max out our oil in Sao Paulo. And I'm actually going to get a bunch of oil put in Santa Cruz as well. Maybe not quite maxing this, but bringing it up to about half or so. So somewhere around there. I also want to switch these over to combustion engine derricks, and I want to switch over to tanker cars. Okay, so that is in preparation for this big switch that we're going to have here. And it is indeed going to be a big switch. Okay. So that looks good. Our railways can go to electric trains, but we're not in a position to do that right now. Whaling stations, we probably should go to steam-powered whalers. Clippers are going to drop heavily in price from doing that. So let's go ahead and do that. We should go to probably refrigerated cars here as well, but we'll go to steam trawlers, and that will allow us to swap some of these shipyards over to making steamships. So these guys can go to steamships. That will reduce the price of steamers while increasing the price of clippers, and that's what we want. So something like this, and more steamship production. More steamship production. That's getting better. That's about ideal there. Okay, so we're going to do something like that. Everybody on steamship production. Perfect. Bolivia's attitude has changed to being defiant. Okay, that's fine. They're still going down by 0.14 weekly, so that seems absolutely okay. Proportional taxation will hopefully pass through here, and we do have a Impuca's shortage of clippers right now. My question is, what's actually wanting them? Ports? and apparently pop needs. So there's one particular port in Antofagasta, out over here. So that is... Why is this even wanting it? You should be on an industrial port. Ah, this is in Bolivia. Gotcha. So I think we need to have one of these remain on clippers. So one level here is going to... Hang on, this is engines. I want shipyards. That'll help. I want one level here, and that's going to be these guys. They're going to go to clippers about like that. Okay, that should deal with that. We've got a transportation shortage in Santa Cruz. Noted. We'll build a railway in Santa Cruz. What else do we have going on? Well, we've got some market access issues, and that is in a couple of locations here. So let's sort by infrastructure, and we can see, yes, this needs to be expanded. Yes, this actually needs to be subsidized. Okay. In Pernambuco, this needs to be subsidized as well. In Cordoba, this could be subsidized. And in Pastaza, again, a subsidization should fix this. So we only really need the one expansion of railroad here. So that looks good. We've got these two coming in. Let's move this power plant up to the top, intersperse the railways in among the power plants, something like this. Okay, that looks fantastic for now. What is this? Another advance. Wow. Okay, we're now up to a 76% success chance. It's either going to succeed or advance. There is no stopping this. There are no brakes on this train. So that looks good. Where's this railroad being built? Mendoza? Okay, that's fine. Yeah, no real problem here right now. We do need to get these railroads built. It's going to take some time. We're in some fairly low construction efficiency over here, and that's understood. So we're still working on paying down this debt. We're down to 30.9K in interest at this moment. Once we get that turned around, we are absolutely going to be cutting taxes. So that'll be great. And of course, we are wanting to intersperse these oil rigs. So I'm going to bring this power plant down to the bottom for right now. But actually, I don't know that we want to do that. I'm going to move all of these down to the bottom, and that will just put the power plant back where it was. The reason I say we don't necessarily want to do that is because we want to move these up as this all gets finished. So we're up to 29 months in this construction queue for right now, and we can actually establish a new company. And what do we want? Well, actually, let's look at our existing companies. So the Gold Combine is not actually making anything. Let's disband this. Now we can make two companies. So we've got our Plantation Society. We've got Bahia Metals, which would be steel mill throughput. That's probably not a bad thing. It would currently increase in prosperity. So that seems reasonably fine. There's also Brazilian Paper Incorporated, and that would give us a bonus to bureaucracy. We don't exactly need that. State construction efficiency would be pretty good. So the Steel Combine sounds decent. Yeah, what I'm thinking right now is we put in Bahia Metals, and then we also end up putting in Steel Combine to get that 5% construction efficiency. Cool. So that'll offset some of this construction efficiency that we've got going on here. And that sounds really, really good. So that'll get these companies going. All of these will be positive prosperity for right now. So that is excellent. We don't actually care about the colony growth speed here, so we may actually want to disband the Plantation Society and put in something else instead. We could get army offense, that's not very relevant. Cotton and rubber plantation throughput, wheat and livestock throughput would be negative on the productivity. The only real option here, I think, is going for like electrics for power plant throughput. That's actually pretty decent. We're going to need a lot of power plant throughput. Let's establish that. Okay, that seems good. Their prosperity is going to be going up over time. So that looks fine. We're going to continue to work on these constructions for the time being, but like I said, we're in some pretty low construction efficiency here. And it'll take time for those companies to offset that somewhat. That's understood. Luckily, we're going to be through this relatively soon and start working on some of this stuff, right? So that seems relatively fine. Santa Cruz is low construction efficiency. Oil rigs do build quickly, though, so that is fine. For the time being, I would like to start moving this oil rig up a bit, and we would put it right here. Then this oil rig goes to the top of this page. Our law progressed to study. That's good. And then from here, we can simply intersperse these like so. Okay. Yeah, this all moved on me, but we're all good. So this is going to be something kind of like this. Perfect. So that'll do for now, and we'll get going on that. It is, however, time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to continue to grow our economy, grow our number of loyalists, grow everything. Everything is going very, very well here right now. And we're just going to continue to invest for the time being. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Atala, Andy McGar, Ali Lee, Dark Horse, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Tommy, Kintogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.